Hey there, guys. So I'm back with another vlog here today, and I'm not sure why you're laughing.
So
So,
it's just gonna be new for them, isn't it? Like this style. We look like we're from Men in Black. We're just talking about it.
yeah, we look proper sort of, aesthetic today. Huh?
Yeah, that's true.
Anyways, today I want to talk about emotions and processing them, and whenever you feel emotions sort of bubbling up in your chest. So that's been the case for me for the last 2 days. And it's sort of induced from the withdrawal from the mirtazapine and along with the anxiety that's always, sort of existing in my body. And whenever I see, let's just make an example, if I see something funny, or when I'm in this state right now, I feel as if that I can't fully process that emotion, and I know that's natural for a lot of people. So when you're in one mood, you can't just switch out and go to a different mood you like. So for that actual reason, the best sort of advice that I've heard and I'd like to give people out there is let exactly what you feel in sort of marinate within you and carry that with you wherever you go. So that's exactly what I've been doing here with the exposures, with all the outings I've been doing. So even just stepping out the house, like before I never used to come out, like whenever I used to feel like this. Like I just used to let it rule me, and it's sort of not a idealistic way to go about things, and not for the future anyway. So if you're trying to overcome it and see sort of growth within you. But what's your take on emotions and processing them?
It depends what emotions, isn't it?
So, for example, a good one is when you're sad or when you're grieving. Like, how would you advise someone, or like, how do you deal with that?
For me,
Yeah.
because I'm a big hard man, I don't cry. But for people, for normal people, I suggest crying more. Like just let it out. But for me, like I'm not. That's not me. That's not me. Like
So you don't
I had my
process it.
chance and I didn't do it. Huh?
You don't process it.
It's just like, of course I process it, but I process it in a calm manner, right? So it's because I'm not. I've been exposed to things that probably normal people wouldn't be. So I'm not gonna like cry about it or anything. I'll just take it on the chin and move on.
Okay, yeah. So it sounds like a bit of sort of sweeping it under the carpet and a bit of
Yeah,
processing
but
it mixed.
that's not what like everyone will do. I recommend for just like normal people that don't have like a high stress life with like a shitty background like us to just like cry.
I used to think about that, like just doing it like everybody else. But then when you realize that 90% of the people actually process it wrong, or they don't even process it. So I found out there's actually no reason for you to, be unhealthy about it, just like everybody else. It's not always right to be following the crowd because they don't know how to do it. And if you learn how to process it, you'll be able to welcome new ideas, new sort of, the emotions that are waiting after that. But if you let them stack, you're just going to be sort of bottled up. So I believe it's better that you process them either one by one, or you can just sit down and write out a emotional releasing letter where you put all whatever it is that you're feeling on a piece of paper. You can rip it up and shred it. You don't need to save that. I think that's one way.
But for me, like I wouldn't like tell anyone like I'm just gonna keep most of this shit to myself, right? But that's because like I'm hard. Right?
I used to be just like that.
I'm a stone cold G.
Yeah, see, I used to be just like that. It sounds cool from the outside, like, oh, I'm hard. I don't need to process these emotions. Things don't, phase me, things like that. But really and truly, we're human,
Yeah, that's true.
And if we're human, that means we'll, face all these emotions.
Yeah, I think for most people, like getting over grief and shit, like I don't know if I'm allowed to swear on the channel still.
More than welcome.
So getting over grief, it's just you cry over it. That's the best way. Like you just gotta accept it, cry over it, and then just deal with it. But if you keep it to yourself, it's gonna fuck you up.
Exactly.
It's gonna turn you into me.
If you don't process it, the worst thing that could happen is, as I said, you feel numb and you start to feel anxiety because now that all of these things have nowhere to go, they'll be trapped in your body. So it will come out of you in a sort of energy form, and that's basically nervousness, anxiety, all those things. So I've learned from Jordan's program on here, and his advice is, of course, write out on the piece of paper how you feel, and if you can, like, if the emotion is more on the sad end of the things, then cry out. You know, it's not embarrassing to process your emotions.
Yeah, find someone you can talk to, because if you don't, like, you're just gonna keep it down and it's not gonna end up well. Take that from someone that's done that it ain't gonna end up well for you.
Exactly.
It's not gonna end up well.
It's not. And I don't know if you've ever felt it, but when you feel like you've got unprocessed emotions, like unfinished, you might have sort of cried out a bit or lashed out a bit of anything, just released a bit of it, but then if there's still some traces of it left in your body, you can actually feel like you're carrying something in your chest.
No, not really.
Not for you.
Not for me, no. Not me personally.
Yeah, but I've experienced that. And before that, you know, when I had the depersonalization, so before 2011, I would actually feel the emotion fully. But then after 2011 period, I actually felt none of it. So if I went through a sort of a sad sort of a event, a grieving situation, a happiness, I'd feel like glimmers of that. I wouldn't feel the full emotions like everybody else because I was already numbed. But now that I'm already coming out of the depersonalization state, I'm more to the connection around my surroundings and my body. The emotions seem to hit much harder for me now. So I think that's a reason why it's a lot more raw for me. When you think about it, it's of course different for different sexes. So women, they process it differently, and men, they process it differently. And a classic sort of view on this that both parties, if I can say parties, both genders have is, you know, for women, they like to make the emotion known. So if it's happy, they usually show it. If it's sad, they usually show it. Whereas guys, they're taught from a young age to man up. Those exact words, like, you shouldn't cry, you know, crying isn't for guys, things like that.
That's what I tell people, but like, that's because I'm a hard man. Like, that's because I didn't cry.
Yeah, that's the same code I used to follow before, but for now, you know, if you don't process these emotions, at least for me, it gives me the backlog, as I explained on here. So whenever you're taught that, you know, a man shouldn't cry, a man shouldn't feel this way, this is that way, it's sort of a restriction. Like, you should be able to feel these things, maybe not sort of indulge in it, but it's, you know, it's your emotions, it's your body, it's your nervous system. So you've got all the right to feel it, and the healthy way is to experience whatever you're experiencing it without suppressing it. It doesn't matter which gender, it doesn't matter how old you are, you know, none of that. So you have to take it serious, and the more you feel, the more you learn, basically. Do you have any sort of maybe techniques that whenever you feel a rush of emotions, what do you do of any sort?
So let's say like someone wants to start a fight with me, because like if something sad comes up, right, I'm not gonna cry, I'm sorry, but like, let's say someone close to me has died, right, I've been through too many funerals to cry anymore. I've been to too many losses to care. Well, not to care. Like, of course I'll care, but
Did you cry on all of them?
no. My first one, and that's it.
Okay.
So it's like, it's just like at a point, it just turns your soul into stone. Like, you don't cry anymore. Like, you'll feel sad about it, but like,
there's a part of you that gets used to it.
Tears won't come out.
There's a part of you that gets used to it,
Yeah. So if
but
I'm,
then
if
you
I'm,
still have to process it.
if I'm like in a fight or something, I'll just like take a deep breath if I feel stressed. So then I know, like, oh, I gotta calm down before I hit this guy, right? I gotta think logically.
That is definitely something I'd advise. So
100%.
yeah, before
Even
you
if
make
you're
those
feeling
sort of those quick conclusions or
Even
any
if
sort
you're
of sudden,
feeling like stressed or anything, like,
yeah,
take a deep breath, like breathing like really hard, and then keep it in for a few moments. Even if you feel like you're out of like energy or breath, like keep it in. I just hold it in, force yourself to hold it in, and then let it out. So like just like this.
and what does that help you with?
it just like calms your mind really quickly, like more normal than you would if you're just normally breathing.
Yeah, so
So
I
it's
know
just
the
like-
4-7-4 breathing. You hold in, basically, you draw in for 4 seconds, like.
Well, I don't know about
7-second
that, but-
release. It basically works with the sympathetic nervous system and things like that, and it just cools you down. So probably the same sort of.
It probably is the same thing, but all I do is just like I force my lungs, bro, like until my lungs hurt. Like I take that much air in.
Exactly.
Yeah,
That
just keep
itself,
it in.
yeah, it's a form of regulation, and when you do that, you basically sort of not completely process the emotion that was literally trapped in your body or what you're about to feel, but it basically shows your body, okay, slow down, and it slows down the oncoming wave of the emotion that you're just about to act out on. So just like you said before a fight. So if you do that, it'll actually cool you down. And when it comes to all emotions, actually, so it works if you do the breathing techniques, if you process them slowly, or if you just completely do them at the end. So if you feel happy, just laugh. If you feel sad, cry. Basically, just let it all out. But it is quite a lot. So emotions are sort of a bit complex. Each person would give their sort of their description or their take of how to process it and their history with it. So there isn't exactly a one set of way of to deal with it. Each person differs, but the universal law is still all around. Not inclusive, but it's the same for everybody. So process them, and there's no shame in processing the emotions. A lot of the people don't want other people to know they're about to cry, they feel this, they feel that. And the more you hide things, what happens? You let way for anxiety and overthinking and just a host of other sort of numbness sort of sensations and stuff. But definitely that's what I've been dealing with, as I said, and I will continue to try process them either in a slow fashion, or if I get the time and the space to actually try, maybe even cry out if I need to, or do something else in that manner. But besides all of that, that's my sort of take on emotions. And is there anything you'd like to add on?
No, not actually. Yeah, there's too many emotions for us to talk about today. We just haven't got enough time. Like we only covered like anger and stress.
Yeah, the two
Yeah,
basically
mainly
these two sides of the
you
coin.
cover like anxiety on your channel anyway. So
So that's it for here, guys, and I'll catch you lot on the next part.
bye bye.
Yeah, and hopefully within the next day or two. So I'll be working, so not quite sure when I'll find the time, but I'll try and make some time, and I'll either follow up something with this, or I'll bring something interesting. But take care, guys. Enjoy. I'll see you guys later.
Bye bye.